Greetings, everybody.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes.
How do I sound?
Good.
Sound really good? Good. Testing.
I
One,
mean-
2, 3.
Still sound as horrible as ever, but you sound good.
Oh, yes.
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just really excited. Got my starting my tattoo sleeve, healing.
I
This
saw
one
that.
hurt like a mother. I
And
got the three worst spots at one time. I got the ditch, the entire inner bicep, part of the armpit, and my elbow.
Yeah.
All at once.
Yeah, trust me, bro. I know the feeling, bro. I'm tatted up too, bro. Where is it? Can you see it?
Oh, there it is under your. Yeah, I see it on your left bicep.
No, another one. You don't see it, bro? Bro,
Is that
it's
red?
right there. Yeah.
Is that a tattoo? Oh,
Yeah, bro, it is, dog. We stay inked up, bro. Me too, dog. So
Well, you
I
got
know the
one.
feeling.
You got one in here, don't you?
Yeah,
I think I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, inner bicep. It sucked, didn't it?
It was
After-
a long time ago. I don't remember.
Well, I can tell you, the other day it was 5 straight hours, and it was it felt like getting attacked by a freaking bobcat.
Damn, bro.
He had to do the wipe down like 3 times, and it's just. But it was 2 sessions to complete this, so
Yeah.
we call it. But yeah,
But if it's done,
this portion, because this is 0-2 from Darling and the Franks. This whole arm is going to be an anime sleeve. So we just did this. We're fixing this one that I had done 11 years ago. This whole shoulder will be a giant cover-up anime character. And I'm doing Lucy from Cyberpunk Edge Runners back here. Then another thing here. Then all the backfill.
where's the Snug Wrestling tattoo gonna go?
On your ass. Like a tramp stamp.
Woo! Good to be back on TikTok Live with you, Mr. Blood. It's been a minute. It's been
About a month and a half.
yeah.
About a month and a half, yeah.
Yeah, we've just been busy doing a whole bunch of stuff, but we're back to go over the latest wrestling stuff. There's been a lot of stuff that's been going around the world of pro wrestling. Blood, you covered some of these things already here and there, but we're going to go over them again today. Before we get started, I just remembered something. I sent you an update on the whole Raja Jackson thing. I'm
Yes.
not sure if you did a video on that yet. Or not, did
I
you?
didn't. I didn't do a video on it. However, I do know that his sentencing stuff took place. So essentially, let's see. Well, keep talking while I look for this, and then I can go and do a live coverage of it.
Yeah, from what I remember, he's already starting his jail sentence, which was a really short jail sentence. He was sentenced to, I think it was 90 days in jail, plus he has to pay like $70,000 or $80,000 to the victim, which is Psycho Stu. And I believe he started his jail sentence a couple days ago, so he might be like 2 or 3 days into his sentence as of today. Unless, I don't know, can they still decide to be like, oh, we sentenced him to 90 days, or we're going to give him 60 for good behavior or some bullshit?
Good behavior is always possible. So here we go. Raja Jackson, the son of mixed martial arts legend Quentin Rampage Jackson, was booked into an LA County jail on Thursday in connection with an August 2025 assault. Of course, that was at the wrestling promotion that was co-owned by Rikishi and I think the Black Manta from the Anawahi and Fatu dynasty. There was a planned... basically what happened was he showed up as a guest. Psycho Stu didn't know that he wasn't a wrestler, tried to start a backstage angle with him while they were outside before the show on a live. Raja takes it too seriously. Psycho Stu does a worked can shot on his head. Raja takes it personally, thinks that it's like the guy really attacked him. They work it out when it gets all cleared up and stuff. They apologize at nauseum to each other. Then Black Manta, who's there, basically goes, hey, we're going to go ahead and run with this. We're going to do a run-in during Psycho Stu's match. So that means that Raja was going to run in on this match later in the night and just do a couple of worked shots. So this was all supposed to be in story for that later that evening. Raja was live streaming while he's in the audience before his run-in. Still very butthurt, feels very disrespected, basically didn't care about the apology, even though he smiled in his face and apologized too. This kid premeditated an assault he was going to commit on Psycho Stu, goes on live and says, I'm going to fuck him up. I'm going to beat him until they pull me off of him. He goes in the ring, does a shoot head, like basically a takedown, like he lifts him over and bounces his head off the mat, which concussed him and half knocked him out, Psycho Stu. Raja proceeds to get on top of him and hits him with over 20 unprotected closed fist shots to the head, to where his teeth were going down his throat and he was literally choking on his own, I can't say for TikTok Live. People started trying to pull him off, and he tried to attack those people too. Basically, the cops got called for that night. It was a whole thing. His father, Rampage Jackson, basically disavowed everything he did. Basically said, I can't even have him around my kids. He's so dangerous. My kids are getting these unaliving threats and all this other stuff because of shit that he's done. He's now made it unsafe for my other kids. Said I have nothing to do with him. So then we get to the sentencing, which took forever because he had an arraignment back in fall. I think it was in November. And then it took a while to get the investigation undergoing. Then I believe it was they had full sentencing just a few weeks ago here. So Jackson was accused of seriously injuring professional wrestler Stuart Smith, Psycho Stu, in Sun Valley last year, causing the man to suffer concussion and the loss of several teeth. Los Angeles County prosecutors made a deal with Jackson earlier this year that would send him to jail for 90 days and require him to serve 2 years of probation. And then pay $81,000 in restitution to Psycho Stu. He was taken into custody on Thursday last week and will complete his agreed upon jail sentence, then will likely be released at the next hearing in late September, said his attorney, Michael Friedman. He has, by the way, he's definitely paid for it because he got kicked off of, I think it was Kick was the streaming platform that he was on. He was on some massive streaming platform he did streaming and everything. They kicked him off. He lost sponsorships. This kid's trainer was with him at this event and did nothing to stop this, by the way, did nothing to intervene. Should have taken him and left the event as soon as the misunderstanding happened in the first place. Like, I'd be like, who the fuck is this coach? Like, you're supposed to be watching after, this client. Raja was a grown man, 25, 26 years old at the time anyway, 25 according to this article. Raja can make his own decisions, but this is not the first time he's had these violent outbursts. He's done this kind of stuff before, and you should just know better that and the whole thing was, well, they tried to argue that, well, this wasn't Raja's fault, right? He had a massive concussion from a training exercise a few days earlier. Okay, if he had a concussion, why the fuck is he at a professional wrestling event as a guest? If he has a concussion, he should be under concussion protocol. He should be staying at home, being with someone watching him, careful of him falling asleep. Like, this is on the coach. This is on his sponsors, his managers, everything. It's also on him. But that is the update on the situation. $81,000 in restitution, 90 days in jail, and 2 years of probation. And if you ask me and a bunch of other people who remember when this happened last year in August, I think he still got off easy. Because to me, that was attempted unaliving.
Yeah, so he started his jail sentence July 2nd, and he's serving standard probation terms, which I guess there's a difference. I guess it depends on like the gravity of the crime that he's being punished for. Yes. So I guess there's a difference between like formal probation, and like a standard probation, which standard probation sounds like the lighter type of probation.
It's usually going to be like community service. You can't leave the county or the town or the state without permission. You have to check in with your PO, once a week. You got to take a P test every week, every 2 weeks. It'll be the standard stuff.
So
they're going to he's going to have a very limited amount of fun for the next 2 years. That is not limited, or is limited, going to be limited to probably his county or town. Because usually when you're on probation, you're not allowed to even go one county over without permission. You can't spend the night somewhere that isn't your house without permission. Shit like that.
Yeah, so check-ins, report to an assigned probation officer at mandated intervals, obey laws. That shouldn't be a problem, right? I mean, one would assume.
Well, you would hope, unless he likes a little bit of the greenery, he's going to have P tests pretty regularly.
Yeah, so that's another one is drug tests, alcohol restrictions. They can just test them randomly. And travel and relocation restrictions remain within a specific district and request approval to travel and change residence.
Yep, I got in a little bit of trouble when I was in my teen years, and I was on probation for about a year and a half. I know it very well, and it's not fun, and it's very embarrassing, and it sucks when you got to tell your friends, oh, I can't do this, oh, I can't do that, oh, I can't do this, because I have to be in my house by 7 p.m. Shit like that. Like, it's embarrassing.
Well, good. I hope he fucking learns his lesson. Yeah, shout out to Greg. He's wondering what's happening. We're talking about Rajah Jackson, the guy that attacked Psycho Stu. What was it, a year or two ago at this point?
A year next month, which is crazy it took this long to get to sentencing for such a clear-cut situation that had 200-300 witnesses. Pretty crazy. Yeah, it was one of the old the promotion, by the way, that was owned by Rikishi and the Black Manta. It was in the WWE ID program. And because of this situation, WWE cut them from the ID program. The WWE ID program, for those of you who don't know, is a program that WWE has a contract or a partnership with smaller promotions on the independent scene for pro wrestling, which aren't mainstream promotions like AEW, WWE, TNA, so on and so forth, and basically use them as a filtering or a farming system to where they can scout for these promotions to bring people into WWE and let their careers take off. So this whole situation didn't just, hurt Psycho Stu and basically cost Rajah his career for the time being. It cost his promotion their WWE ID contract, which means a lot of these wrestlers who did nothing wrong lost an opportunity working for this promotion to take the next step of their careers because of this. And quite a few of these wrestlers apparently quit because of this, because they were with this promotion because it was a stepping stone in the ID program to hopefully get to NXT or WWE one day. So, plus, why it's my brand. Why would I want to be associated with a promotion that allowed this to happen? Because this is also a lot of promotion's fault for, one, letting Rajah back there with the wrestlers in the day, and then two, going, well, now that you've had an altercation, misunderstanding, let's run with it for a story and let this guy who apparently has a concussion from 2 days ago get in the ring with you later tonight. Like, I don't know who the fuck was thinking of this shit, but it was idiotic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so basically Rajah Jackson, he's in jail right now as of July 2nd. He's going to be in there for 90 days, so he has, 83 days left?
Yeah.
And which is nothing, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. Maybe 90 days.
He had a really good lawyer.
Maybe 90 days is more than enough for him, but not for, I don't think for the crime that was committed.
For what when I was covering this back in August, I had on this whole subject, I think I had 2 videos that did 1 to 2 million views apiece. I had one that did 1.6 million that's posted on my account. Over 80% of those comments were whatever they give him, I guarantee you they're going to take, like, everybody wanted him to get no less than 2 years, 2 to 5 years. Everybody was furious about it. Like, I had probably 86,000 people who were like, across 3 videos, who were like, yeah, no, he deserves to get the book thrown at him for this. Because it's not just a matter of losing your temper. This was hours later. This is not now in the heat of the moment self-defense. This is premeditated assault. And it goes beyond assault, because when you knock someone out on a slam, and then you proceed to lay in ground and pound over 20 shots unprotected to their face and their head, where you've broken teeth into their throat, that right there to me is an attempted unaliving. I don't know how the fuck this kid got 90 days.
Yeah,
2 years probation. Crazy. To me, it's way too good for him. Whoever his lawyer is, you might as well give them a bonus, Rajah, because if this was anybody else, 3, 4, 5 years, then probation.
Yeah, so he's going to do that. He's going to do 90 days. On top of that, 2 years probation and an $80,000 fee.
Yeah, 81. Yep, 81K in restitution.
So, yeah, that's what's going on with Rajah Jackson. I'm sure there's going to be more news coming out when it comes to that whole situation, but that's where we're at right now when it comes to this. This wasn't part of the topics that I had planned for today. I just remembered about it, and I just wanted to just throw it out there just to, I guess, to get the tonight's show going with me, myself, and Mr. Blood, our weekly Thursday Snug Wrestling episode on TikTok Live. But one of the topics that I did have planned, yes, thank you guys. Keep double tapping the screen, keep on sharing and commenting. We're going to talk about Sheamus. We're going to talk about how he has officially left the WWE. We're also going to be talking about the New Day, who already left the WWE, but there's more updates on that. And potentially Zilla Fatu joining the WWE here soon. So that's what we're going to be going over today. Mr. Blood, we're going to get started with the Sheamus situation. I know you did a blood drop episode on this already, but I want to get more in depth because I wasn't aware that one of the reasons Sheamus left is because he declined one of these new TKO contracts that are very popular nowadays. TKO has been offering WWE stars a huge pay cut.
Restructurings, they're calling them.
Right. And Sheamus declined the restructured contract extension as his contract was coming close to expire. You know, Sheamus was in the WWE for over 20 years, almost 20 years, since 2007. And he leaves as a free agent and is eligible to wrestle anywhere immediately.
Yeah. Real quick, shout out to LC Constanti in the comments. I'm very sad with Sheamus leaving. I understand why he is leaving, but he should have been given an IC title run. I 100% agree. That's the one title everybody wanted to see. Hell, we'd had a whole damn near half to a full year's worth of build with him and Gunther just a few years ago, involving him and Drew and everything, going after it at WrestleMania. What was it, 39, I think, that they had that match at? So completely agree. Here's the thing. Look, when it comes down to it, Sheamus is doing the smart thing. He's betting on himself. He's 49 years old, I think, 48 years old. He's been with the company since I believe it was actually 2006 when he signed with them. Then made his TV debut in 2009. I remember the night he debuted. I was watching when he debuted. And one of his first major feuds was Triple H and also John Cena. Like, they had high hopes for him as soon as he came in. He also, he's I think a 3-time or a 4-time WWE champion. He is a United States champion. I think he's a 9-time tag champion. He's an everything champion but that IC title.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. When it comes with Sheamus was, in my opinion, brave for this, because when people like the New Day, who also said, go fuck yourself on these restructuring deals, they were praised by everybody, because you're setting a precedent basically saying you can't come in here, deal in bad faith, and then expect me to agree with it. Especially when you're talking about you've given 15, 20 years of your life to a company and you have earned your money in your spot. You're a household name. And they come in and go, hey, those deals we just signed with you in the New Day's case a year ago, that we approached you with this deal, the money added, the time, we said this is what we thought was fair for you, that we agreed to, and then a year later you go, nah, you're not worth it. We'd like you to take less. Even though you're a household name, both of you have been here steadily for Kofi for 20 years, by the way.
Bro, but they're a little mom and pop shop, bro. What if they can't afford it?
Well, that's the biggest problem with these restructuring deals for people who don't know. WWE reported that this is because they apparently are trying to save on payroll. Even though WWE has been recording record profits every quarter, year on year, since 2020, a month after COVID started, and they began their annual fucking talent cuts. So, and then all of COVID, they were like bolstering 25, 33% year-on-year revenue. And they have continued that trajectory or maintained it for the last 5.5, 6 years. So, bullshit, you have to save on payroll. You signed a $5 billion deal with Netflix 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, 8 months ago? And you mean to tell me
way longer than that, but yeah.
Seems way longer, but January 5th, 2025 was the first episode of Netflix Raw. Okay? 5 years, $5 billion. That is not including the deal they just signed with ESPN in junction with Disney and Hulu literally last summer. And that's going to continue for several years. Like, you're not hurting for money. Like, I understand that the merger of and the creation of TKO with the merger of WWE and UFC and Endeavor and all that crap left a hole in your wallet a little bit because you absorbed the debt that UFC got themselves in. And that basically TKO is using WWE as kind of a stalking horse to keep funneling money back into UFC to get that debt off, because UFC is like $3.5 billion in debt. Let's not forget the fact that UFC right now is having their own problems where people in their company are publicly going and calling the company out for lack of pay for their athletes. Like Ronda Rousey, right before her fight with Gina Carano, was at a presser talking about that Dana White and them need to do right by their talents, do the right thing, pay your people. You make millions of dollars. You are with a company right now who's making billions of dollars. WWE is clearing UFC. And you're going to sit here and you have enough money to hold a show at the fucking White House, rip up the lawn, then pay to have it put back to normal, but you can't pay your fighters. Bullshit. Okay? Makes no sense. But basically TKO is robbing Peter, WWE, to pay Paul, UFC. While, by the way, during these contract restructuring deals that WWE is doing with all their talent, while they sit here and say it's safe on payroll, they just fired all those people, a bunch of those people a couple of months ago when the New Day left, and they fired all these other people. Their higher ups, their literal board of directors, including Triple H, who had just got a brand new contract signed that same weekend, and Nick Khan, who just got a a pay increase, they all reported getting bonuses in the first quarter of this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're telling me you got enough money to pay yourselves, but you can't pay the athletes that are the reason you get paid at all.
Yeah.
I got news for you. No one's coming to WWE to see Bruce Pritchard, Triple H, and Nick Khan. Like, look, I understand that with Sheamus, it might have come down to the point where, look, he's been injured 4 times in 5 years. He's had major injuries 4 times 5 years. He's had 4 surgeries. I get that. He's still a valuable player. You could have asked him if he wanted to transition to producing, or helping out at the performance center, being a trainer, something, making him a part-timer. But you're asking this guy who gets hurt for you on a regular basis, his last match that caused a shoulder injury with Rey Mysterio and John Cena in November of last year in a tag match. He got hurt there, had to get surgery immediately. That guy puts his body on the line for you, and you expect him to continue to do so, but you want to go take half the money.
Is that what they were offering him? Half, basically.
It's most of these pay reductions have been rumored. So I should preface this with rumored to be significant pay reductions of anywhere from 30 to 50%. Keep in mind, yes, they work less than they used to. LA Knight last year wrestled the most matches in the company at 67 matches. But when you wind the clock back to 10 years ago, Randy Orton had done, 390 matches in 1 year. Like, 67 matches is still 67 matches, okay? UFC fighters fight 2-3 times a fucking year. And like Mike Tyson and Jake Paul just had a match on Netflix, okay? They both made millions for one fucking fight that they're going to have that entire year, next to the one that Jake had after where his jaw got knocked off his stupid face. But the point is, they made 3 to 4 years the salary of the average WWE talent, which Roman is reported to make the most at $15 million with all of his combined deal, his gate fee, his regular fee, and his merch combined, $15 million rumored. And they made 3-4 times that. But you're telling me you can't pay Sheamus, who's been with you for 20 years, his normal contract he's had that he just re-signed in 2024. You want to restructure that again? Like, it's bullshit.
Yeah, it could be. You're right. It's crazy to think about because I understand everything that you're saying, but also that could be a big factor too. The fact that the WWE talent aren't wrestling as much anymore, that could be a reason why TKO wants to do these reconstructuring of the contracts or whatever.
No, it is one of the reasons they named. They said that.
Well, hold on. That. Also, the fact that Sheamus is, he's pretty up there in age. That could be, in this situation with Sheamus, right? The age might be a big factor. The injury might be a big factor. Maybe they just for what they had planned for Sheamus creatively. Maybe Sheamus too wasn't. He was like, nah. He's like, I'm not gonna stick around for half the money to do whatever it is you guys want me to do. I think I'm just gonna, just call it here, right?
What's annoying about that is it's stupid because they did tell us straight up that one of the main reasons WWE was starting the restructuring stuff to save on payroll was because they believe that because of the reduced schedule and the work rate being reduced, that they felt like the talent didn't need the pay versus the work rate that was being required. But that's stupid because the talent did not reduce their work rate. You reduced their work rate. You wanted to save money, so you got rid of live events and you fired half the team that ran live events.
Oh, they are doing live events now.
Barely. And when they used to do them, because the talent used to work Mondays, Fridays, TV, once a month on a Saturday or Sunday PLE. But in the week, they would have live events on Tuesday, Wednesday, or like Tuesdays, be off on Wednesdays to go home, get back on the road on Thursday so they can get back to a show on Friday. Now, if you weren't on SmackDown, then you ran some live events on Friday. If you were Raw talent, you'd run a tour circuit, okay? Or you do some work on the weekends Saturday. They used to work like 4 or 5 days a week. And when I was watching it back in the 2010s, they were still on 5-6 day a weeks, getting dropped on my back for 5 nights a week. Like, so to sit there and go, well, you guys don't work as much, so why would we pay you as much? Motherfucker, you got rid of the live events. You took away the work we could have been doing to justify these contracts, and then you re-signed us in good faith on new deals and kept us at the same rate even after you got rid of the live events. So how do you get to come back and change the agreement now just because you're having buyer's remorse?
Yeah, so that's another interesting thing about all this, the whole situation with the live events, because they record some live event matches either before or after the Raw or SmackDowns, right? They're doing that. When they did the European tour, they did some live events out there recently, and I got a notification a few days ago that they're going to be here in California doing like 3 or 4 live events, like in my area, like in my, in like I guess the middle of California. I don't know if they're going to have more, but yeah, it seems like they're starting to get back into doing more live events, hopefully. And I think they're also going to be doing one in Mexico when they go out there in a couple months.
I mean, it's fine that they're doing live events, but here's my thing. If you're bringing the live events back, stop reducing people's pay. It's that simple. It's that simple. Because though it's a company, it's all about corporate greed, you still have to realize that not only are you alienating your fan base, you're alienating your locker room. Because those are the people that make you the money in the first place. Like, all these deals are great, except for the fact that you don't have a deal if no one wants to work for you. And the problem is, if you start getting rid of talent, big name talent that people want to see, like, dude, what then? Because if you'll do that to big talent, you'll certainly do it to new and young and up and coming talent. Eventually, people aren't going to want to come work for WWE. They're not going to want to go to the Performance Center, want to go up through NXT. They're going to wonder, well, why would I work for a company that's just going to get rid of me like that, the drop of the hat, the moment they got to save an extra $1 million in the next 4 months? And then my ass gets fired and I uprooted my whole fucking life. A lot of these are international talent who were living somewhere else, who were on visas, who come over here in the States and get a house and work for WWE on a contract for years. They uproot their life to come over here, chase this dream, work for you, entertain your fans, and then you'll fire them 9 months, a year and a half in. Now they're in a country not able to do the job and work for the place that brought them over here in the first place. Like, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to Regular Joe. Says they told us that they're doing live events all summer. It's a test run to see if the model holds up in 2026. Yeah, see, I wasn't sure if it was all summer, but I did see something about that going around. So that is good. Nice to see.
If you're gonna bring it back, good. But then if that's the case, drop the restructuring bullshit. If you don't want to pay this talent the money for working less, then give them back their work. Because this talent has also said on record, Jey Uso specifically, where the fans mock him for saying, oh, he looks gassed, he's winded just from his entrance. He's gone on record and said, yeah, I'm gassed. Yeah, I'm winded. Because I'm only wrestling once a week now, Oos. I used to wrestle 3-4 times a week. I could get my reps in, keep my cardio up. I stayed conditioned in the ring. When you got rid of that, your body starts backsliding because now it's getting way too much of a break. You can't like what do you want them to do? They can't stay in ring. There's a difference between being in shape and being in ring shape. Okay? You can go to the gym The Rock can go to the gym all day. But he can't come in and take a fucking bump out of nowhere. He's gotta get used to being back in the ring. He's got to go at the Performance Center, get used to impact testing again. Former wrestler here, I can fucking tell you, I've been a gym guy my whole life. Working out, that's great. But the moment my buddy Jonathan, who's 6'4", lifts me up and scoop slams me, and I haven't been dropped on my back in 2 years, it's gonna fucking hurt a lot worse than it used to.
Yeah, I guess. The crazy thing about all of this with Sheamus is he didn't win the Intercontinental Championship. And I guess for someone like that, who's been in the company for so long, who's had a career like the one that Sheamus has had, I don't know. And everything that's been happening with Cena retiring, and we're seeing all these, like all of our stars retiring, I guess it's going to be weird knowing that Sheamus could potentially just be completely done with the WWE without a proper goodbye, right? That's kind of, I don't know. That feels kind of weird, right?
Yeah, I mean, shout out really quick to Outlaw JC03 in the comments. What level of wrestling did you do? I was a professional wrestler on the independent circuit between the tri-states of Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina for about 5-6 years, and then wrestled here in Florida for about another year after that until I was too beat up. Got beat up and injured a couple times too early, just couldn't keep doing it. But when it comes down to it, with Sheamus, yeah, it's a shame. You heard, I mean, what was it, last year and the year before? I was ad nauseum saying I just wanted Sheamus to win the IC title. You said, I'm not the biggest fan of Sheamus. I was the biggest fan of Sheamus on the podcast. And I kept saying, I want him to have an IC run. I really hope they give it to him. I want him to. When he faced Gunther again, I was like, dude, man. When we did a podcast, we talked about our favorite matches, me, you, and James Broderick. And we were on a podcast about our favorite matches, right? One of the favorite matches I listed was Sheamus versus Gunther, Clash at the Castle 2022. That's one of my favorite professional wrestling matches of all time. And that was over the IC title. Sheamus and Gunther and Drew at Mania, what was it? I think it might have been 38 for the IC title. Match of the weekend. Like, Sheamus is involved in some of the best matches WWE has put on in years. So to think that he would not have an IC title reign with the workhorse title, I am mourning the idea of all the matches that we aren't going to get out of this. Like, yeah. I am like now I got to just be like, dream match it in WWE 2K26. Because, like, there are so many matches I would have, like, given my take my money. Sheamus versus who for the IC title? Absolutely. Sign me up. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
It's just damn shame. FOMO, bro. FOMO for real. Missed out. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of comments here, so thanks for all you guys' comments. Someone on here said, Gold Rush says, let's get the bar back together in AEW.
I don't know if I want him to go to AEW. Look, everybody knows Mr. Blood don't like AEW. Mr. Blood stopped watching AEW about 3 years ago. Mr. Blood did give it a chance. Mr. Blood liked it for a time. Mr. Blood don't like it no more. Mr. Blood, however, I don't hate AEW. I am glad it exists because you need competition to exist in order for everybody else to step their game up and do better. And it's also great for the boys because now they have a place where they can look at and go, well, hey, pay me this or I'm going here. Like, it gives them the ability to up their contracts. They have value. They have stock in themselves to basically fight for themselves when it comes to contractual conversation. When it comes to AEW, the one thing I don't like is everybody over there gets hurt a lot. Everybody gets hurt. People get hurt in WWE plenty. They do. I don't think I've seen people get hurt as frequently in such a short amount of time that a company has been open than AEW. Edge has been injured 3 times. Bryan Danielson 4 times. Kenny Omega twice. MJF twice. I look at all these guys and I go, These are really young guys. Look at Darby Allin. Like, if I ran a promotion, and I don't, Tony Khan does, I would never, ever let my talent do the shit he does on a nightly basis. Not because it's grotesque or this. I would be in fear for his safety. It takes an inch in the wrong direction. That guy is going to be in a wheelchair the rest of his life. I would have to fire him if he didn't listen to me to protect him from himself. So when I look at Sheamus and I see that a lot of these guys, there's no training center with AEW. There's no performance center. There's no way for them to practice and get reps in and have actual wrestlers sit there and walk them through proper timing and protecting your opponent. The number one rule of wrestling, protect your fucking opponent. Because they're injuring each other left and right. When I look at Sheamus, I don't like the idea of him going over there and then someone hurting him. I mean, remember how pissed off Matt and Jeff Hardy got a couple of, what was it, last year? They were in a match with someone, I think Orange Cassidy or somebody did something in a match and hurt Jeff, and Jeff was fucking furious and like looked at him like, dude, you almost fucking like really hurt. Like, I look at these veterans, I don't want to put them up against these guys who are still green but on TV, who are just doing shit and snap decisions and hurting these people, like hurting each other. I don't like the idea of Sheamus going over there to get hurt at his age, because when I look at Danielson, when I look at Edge, when I look at I get fearful when they wrestle the younger guys.
Yeah.
I get fearful.
So shout out to Eric Padilla from the SDN podcast, says AEW is a spot fest company. That's why they're always getting hurt. And also Gold Rush says, and that comes back to the lack of live events to get their reps in, including in mic skills.
Yes, you need. Thank you guys very much. Look, and again, for those of you, I'm not hating on AEW. I'm glad it exists. We need the AEWs, we need the TNAs, we need the MLWs, and we need every promotion under the sun. I would never want any promotion to go out of business. I hope AEW is around forever, because as long as they're around, it's going to force WWE to treat their talent better, because they're going to see that there is grass on the other side. Now, grass isn't always greener, but grass is grass, and I don't got to stand on this side of the lawn if I don't fucking want to, motherfucker, so pay me what I need. But when it comes down to it, I look at AEW and I just still think that a lot of what they're doing, and I'm trying to say this in a way that's not angering or in a way that's disparaging to AEW fans, because I understand you love your product, and you should. It's still a good product. It's just not my product. But when I look at AEW, it looks like car crash wrestling. And I'm not a fan of car crash wrestling. I'm not a fan of GCW. I'm not a fan of that style. I like ECW now, but when I was younger, I didn't like it. I appreciate it for what it's done now, but I didn't want to sit there and watch someone get their freaking forehead raked open with a goddamn pizza cutter. I'm trying to eat my dinner while I watch wrestling. Like, what is this? So for me, it's just what their product is. I don't think matches wrestling for anybody that's a veteran over the age of 35. Because I think you are really risking your career in a lot of ways that you don't have to.
Yeah, so let's talk about AEW. Okay, so Sheamus, he's already in his late 40s, right? Maybe he doesn't need to wrestle anymore. He doesn't want to keep doing that, especially not in AEW, where over there they turn up like crazy, right? Well, they're also saying the same thing about the New Day. The New Day, their 90-day compete clause, I believe it ends the end of this month. So in August, they're free to go to AEW if they want. And that seems to be the big talk right now, that the New Day are pretty much going to AEW. They have a lot of friends over there. So it makes the most sense for the New Day to go to AEW. Would I like to see that? I mean, maybe. It's up to them if that's what they want to do, right? However, I don't know if, again, Kofi Kingston, like Sheamus, they're up there in age. Does Kofi Kingston really want to go to AEW to have all these fucking crazy 5-star matches from the Tokyo Dome with the young guys in AEW? Because let's be honest, didn't really work out for the Hardy Boys. You know, we all know how that went. And also, I mean, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, they're a completely different level of athletes, right? Not saying Kofi and Xavier Woods aren't either, but I mean, they the Hurt Syndicate, they've done some stuff in AEW, but I mean, they're off TV right now. I think they're off, I don't know, taking time off or whatever, but do we really want to see the New Day go to AEW? And if so, for what? You know?
Let me put it this way. You mentioned like does Kofi and Sheamus need to go over there and have these 5-star matches? Look, despite their age, Kofi and Sheamus and Xavier, especially Sheamus, from what we've seen him do with Gunther, just Gunther alone, and Ludwig Kaiser. Sheamus is very, very capable of a 5-star match every fucking night of the week. When I look at Clash the Castle 2022, him and Gunther for the IC title, that's a 5-star goddamn match. Like Kofi had in my opinion, put on a 5-star match with fucking Ivar when Eric got injured and went out for a while, and they had Ivar and Kofi have a couple of matches for about 2-3 weeks in a row, and they were the opening matches both times, and the crowds were going insane for them. This is awesome. Like, they were busting out indie ass style 5-star wrestling. It was amazing. And that was only a couple of years ago. So you ask me, I think that they're very capable of those matches. I think they're very capable of those performances. My problem with them going to AEW is simple. Are they ever going to get on TV? Because it doesn't matter how big a star you were in WWE. AEW will use your clout for a rating boost for a couple of weeks, maybe 2 months, maybe a story and a half. Then your ass is off TV for a year like Rusev. They hate you and don't like your attitude or you protecting your character like Aleister Black. The Elite comes after you for no reason and can't stand the sight of you from the moment you walk in the company, CM Punk. And John Moxley himself, their golden boy, arguably the face of their company, came out and said, I love this company, but it is the most toxic, most immature place I've ever worked in my life. That's John Moxley who said that about that company. Okay? So it's not even me just hating on it. Like, that's what one of their top guys said, and he's still with them today and still said that. Like, at the end of the day, come on, Bobby Lash, the Hurt Syndicate, that got popular last year, and then they started throwing Ricochet in the mix of the story, trying to buddy up with Bobby. How long that last? Where is Bobby Lashley? Where's the Hurt Syndicate? Where's Shelton Benjamin? I haven't heard anybody say a goddamn thing about Ricochet in weeks. Like, what I'm talking about is you'll go over there and you'll get some TV time for a hot minute, no matter how big a star you are. Okay? Bobby Lashley is a former fucking world champion of recent years in WWE. And still, very passe storytelling, barely any pomp and circumstance, couple of cool things here and there. Smoke. Yeah, why would I go over and sign a multi-year deal with you to sit on my ass for the majority of that deal? Most wrestlers want to wrestle.
Yeah, and right now the tag team champions over in AEW is like Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, right? Edge and Christian, right? FTR, they're taking some time off. The Young Bucks are still there in the tag team division. Edge and Christian are basically running the tag team division right now. So, right now, let's say like the end of this month, the New Day shows up over there, they want to go after some tag team gold. We could see the New Day versus Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. Also, fans want to see the New Day versus FTR or the Young Bucks. So, I mean,
that's just. But okay, like that's my thing that also aggravates me about the fans. You guys clamor so hard for these guys to come over because you want to see a dream match or two. A dream match or two does not justify a 2 to 3 year fucking deal. Like, because I'm going to wrestle you twice. Maybe we'll have a story for a month and a half or two for maybe 1 or 2 pay-per-view circuits. And that's it. And then I wrestle this other team the same length of time. Great. So we covered 4 to 5 months. And we've done 4 major matches across both these matchups. Great. There's 20 months left in my contract. Like, now what? You know what I'm saying? Like, It's like, and that's what I feel like they keep doing. like, I am convinced Ricochet signed with AEW because everybody, their grandmother, just was like, you got to sign with AEW so we can see you versus Will Ospreay. And then we got that. Now what? How much fanfare has Ricochet got? People hated him the moment he came in. Like, I mean, come on. I'm not signing a multi-year deal or championing them to pop in there on a whole ass contract for fucking a 1 or 2 dream matches. Because if that's the case, let him go to AEW, let him sign a limited deal. Like 3 months, 4 months. Because they've done those deals. Like Matt Cardona had like, what was it, like a 2 or 3 month deal or a couple of appearance deal. The Hardys were on like 6-month contracts with TNA. Like, let's sign a limited deal. But at my age, I'm not going to sign 3-4 years with you when you've only got really 2 potential matchups and stories for me that the fans actually want to see. Like that, it doesn't balance itself.
Yeah, well, the internet is saying that it's a foregone conclusion that Kofi and Austin Creed will most likely show up in AEW probably the end of this month or the beginning of next month, whenever their 90-day non-compete is up.
I mean, again, sign wherever you want. I'm all for the boys making their bread. Families to feed, wives to support, houses to pay for. I want these men and women to get as much work as they possibly fucking can. I really do. But I also don't want fans trying to pressure them and then treat them like shit because they didn't go where they wanted them to go for a couple of dream matches. And despite how they left, WWE was very good to Sheamus, Kofi, and fucking and Xavier Woods. Very good to Edge, very good to Christian for years. These are all former champions, multi-time champions, top merch sellers. They have made their money. They've paid for their houses, put their kids through fucking schools because of WWE. Okay? Like, met their wives in WWE. Like, it's not like WWE is just all evil. Like, it's given these guys opportunities. So just because they've left WWE, I don't want to just shit all over their time in WWE like a lot of fans will. No, like, let's not sit here and pretend that just because it didn't end the way that we thought it should doesn't mean that they aren't probably grateful or satisfied or thankful for the time they spent there. So, like, they probably are. I'm happy if they show up anywhere and get a payday because they fucking earned it and they deserve it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting if it does happen. I mean, we've seen it happen time and time again. You know, Ricochet went over there. Just recently, you know, Tommaso Ciampa went over there. And the stuff that they've been doing with both Ricochet and Tommaso Ciampa, you know, they're being used constantly on TV. Unfortunately, like, when it comes to Ricochet had a lot of fanfare coming in. The people were really excited about him being there. And then after a while, they
decided, 2 weeks.
Yeah, they decided, you know what? We don't actually like this fucking guy, which I don't
For
blame
2
him.
weeks and 3 tweets later.
Yeah. Same thing with Tommaso Ciampa. Came in and automatically, you know, now he's a heel. And Chris Jericho, too. Chris Jericho had to take an entire year off because the fans were booing him out of the arena.
That's another thing. Like, I don't really have a problem with AEW. I have a problem with AEW diehard fans a lot of the time. The way that they just treat the fucking guys. Like, I mean, like, everyone, the grandmother was so happy when CM Punk came back, and the Elite treated him like shit the entire time. Like, and we know the stories. Punk begged Tony to be a boss. Like, didn't want to do it. Let Jack Perry do whatever he wanted. Tony Schiavone was begging Punk to handle Jungle Boy because he wouldn't listen. He's mistreating girls. He's screaming at people. Like, it's a fucking kinder cake care over there. And the fans only side with originals. And the problem with that is the fans will sit here and be like, oh, we like cheering for months. Please retire to fucking Jericho. It's like, this dude has been putting his body on the line for you for almost 30 fucking years, and you're chanting for him to retire. And then he leaves for a whole year. And WWE fans were like, we'll take him back. Y'all don't want to treat him with respect. We'll do it. Give him back to us. Because unlike a lot of promotions, WWE fans love nostalgia. So we're like, bring him over here. Let's get a retirement tour. Bring Jericho back. And then when he popped up on AEW, we were all like, oh. And then you saw the reaction he got his first night back on AEW. He got like half the audience was happy to see him. And I'm just like, Was it? It's like y'all don't sometimes, not all the time, because I'm not hating on AEW or fans, but a lot of AEW fans clamor for something, and the moment they get it, they're like, fuck this. Like, you wanted Ricochet and Ospreay. Ricochet came over. You hated Ricochet in 3 weeks. You wanted you didn't want Jericho to go back to WWE because you felt like he should stay in AEW, the place he helped build. He comes back, you got barely any fanfare his night he returned. Yeah. I watched that return. Half the audience was quiet and didn't care. And I'm like, was that worth coming back to? Like, it's like you don't want these guys to leave AEW. You just don't want them to go to WWE. Like, and
yeah,
it's like, come on, bro.
That's funny that you mentioned, the whole thing that happened with Jericho. And now it's like, I'm starting to wonder if this was all just part of the plan just to get, the AEW fans behind Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho showed up after all these WWE rumors and was like, I'm home, talking about AEW. So it's like, oh my God, he chose AEW over WWE. Thank you, Jericho, So I'm wondering, like, that was probably all part of the plan, because the people they're still behind Chris Jericho, which
the match he had with Tommaso, I thought was still really good. I saw a couple of highlights from it. What Tommaso hit him with the fairy tale ending on the steps.
It was a really good match.
That was a good match, yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, Jericho's still capable of putting out bangers, even at his age. I just wish that AEW fans would look at the guys that they have there. And I really would just wish the AEW fans would appreciate the guys they have there more, because they're so quick to shit all over these guys that they claim they love the moment that they just tweet something they don't like, or automatically like, well, we wanted you here just because we wanted to see this match, but because we don't like you working people online, Ricochet on Twitter, now fuck Ricochet, we hate you, chanting bald bitch, like fuck your girlfriend too, or your wife or whatever, even though she ain't done nothing. Like, it's like, come on, like, y'all clamor for this. Like, Punk did not have to give you a return. One of the biggest moments in AEW history. He gave y'all the first $1 million gate, okay? He's the reason you showed up and paid for that and made that $1 million gate. Him, so it was the marquee match. And then it's just like, oh, well, he's just a WWE guy. He's not an AEW, original, fuck him. He's always been toxic. He's always been this. He's always been that. It's like, or maybe a group of guys there who acted like, or maybe a couple guys there who acted like high schoolers, just treated him like shit. And he had enough, so.
We got flagged, blood.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah, so
it says bullying and harassment for what? We're talking about what happened 4 years ago to somebody else. What the fuck?
Yeah, and also you mentioned Jungle Boy, and I just remembered something that was hilarious, because there was also rumors going around that his AEW contract was going to expire. And there were some people saying, "Oh, well, we want to see him show up in WWE. That'd be cool."
Fuck no.
Hold on, slow down, bro. Let me finish.
Sorry.
And yeah, so, and I said the same thing. I was like, I don't think that's gonna happen. He's too much of like an elite guy. I mean, kind of so was Cody, right? But Jungle Boy, he's too much of an AEW like original and pillar for him to say, you know what, I'm going to WWE, right? And on yesterday on Dynamite, they played a video package announcing that Jungle Boy re-signed with AEW, which I'm like, of course he is. There's no way he was just gonna jump ships, But, yeah.
I mean, I didn't want him in WWE because he's just way too fucking immature, and he's got a massive ego on him, and that's not going to quell with WWE's, new regime where it's all about collaboration and everybody backstage is friends, and everybody's got guaranteed contracts, and it's all about like, we're working together to make each other look great, we're putting each other over unselfishly. And you got people in AEW who are like, I'm not losing to this, I'm not dropping the title of this, I refuse. And like Jungle Boy Jack Perry and the whole CM Punk issue, like he had people begging him to calm down and be a team player. And there are people that attested to like Tony Schiavone, like backed CM Punk's story. Like, I had to beg this guy to talk to Jack Perry because Jack Perry was yelling at girls and assistants and cussing out producers. And it's like, you don't need that energy in a company that's actually actively collaborating with everybody backstage like WWE. He'd just be poison to their locker room, in my opinion. Like, unless you're going to grow up and mature and drop that attitude issue and this complex you have, stay in AEW.
Yeah,
stay there.
And I'm pretty sure, like, if even WWE was considering bringing Jungle Boy over, CM Punk would probably have a lot of say in that. Like, hey.
I mean, keep in mind, CM Punk is the reason they hired Danhausen.
You're right.
So,
and probably, no, I was going to say Ricky Saints, but, man, I think that was mostly Cody probably. But Ricky Saints was still pretty close to Punk, I think, when they were in AEW. But yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure Punk was like, nah, bro. He would be like, there's no way we're gonna do that,
No, and I wouldn't blame him. I look, WWE, for all of its issues, because it's not a perfect company, the people in the back, the wrestlers, I feel like they're a lot more mature with each other back there. It's a much more mature backstage environment nowadays. You're talking 10 years ago, maybe not. Nowadays, it is, because they've cultivated a backstage environment where everybody is friends. Everybody works together. Everybody hangs out. Everybody's cool. They do TikToks together. Like, Shawn Michaels is a fucking TikTok, for Christ's sakes. Like, never thought I'd see the day. Like, these people are literally like, they're people who treat each other like they're the on the road family. That's just how they are now in WWE. You can't have someone coming in who's gonna upset that status quo. Like, Tiffany Stratton got too big for her britches with Charlotte Flair. They made her apologize to Charlotte. Like, Jade Cargill thought she was going to do her own thing and go off script with Rhea. They made her apologize to Rhea. Like, you saw Andrade with attitude problems. They got his ass out of the company. They're not tolerating that shit anymore. It's just, we are a collaborative team environment. Like, that's just what it is now.
All right, let's go over one more thing before we get up out of here.
Sure thing.
Zilla Fatu. A lot of people have been saying for I feel like at least a year now, when are we going to get Zilla Fatu in the WWE? Well, those rumors are back again, and they're getting stronger and stronger, because now it's being reported that this new signee, Zilla Fatu, is reportedly in the final stages, so he's about to sign. And supposedly this is, coming from Fightful and a bunch of other sources, that he's expected to join the WWE roster very, very soon.
I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. But at the same time, Fightful, they've got a pretty good track record, especially whenever it's Sean Ross Sapp. When it comes down to it, I mean, I'm not against them adding him. I would imagine if let's just say he hypothetically signs, you got to imagine he's popping up before War Games. Like, it feels like a War Games signing. Like, I would imagine he's got to skip the line of NXT. They're going to put him straight on the main roster with the rest of the Bloodline. And I feel like they're going to tell that story. Because, again, right now, it's actually for the first time, I think, since they brought War Games back, we can't tell what the War Games match is going to be. Like, who's in it, like what teams. Because so much allegiance has changed since last year. Like, there's so much going on. Like, I don't know who the fuck's in that War Games cage. But I can tell you that I don't know if it's Vision. I don't know if it's Bloodline again. I don't know if it's offshoot teams here trying to take these teams down here. I don't know who's teaming up as a super team. Like, it's very fucking crazy. Yeah. So for me, if he comes in, great, adds to the story. I would wonder, however, if he sides with, now that Solo has nobody, and he's trying to get LA Knight to partner with him, if he joins them as like a makeshift group, or if he comes in and tries to buddy up with Roman and the Usos, or they make him like the antithesis to Jacob, but on Solo's side. So like, it's very interesting. I don't hate the idea of bringing him in. That's fine. I mean, they said the Bloodline story is never going to end, so better buckle up and get used to it. So I've made my peace with it. But, I mean, if they're going to do it, I would hope or imagine at least it's got to be definitely before War Games.
Yeah, that's what the rumors are saying, that Zilla Fatu would most likely be integrated into the storyline alongside Roman and Jacob and the Usos. So I'm guessing, with everything that's happening with Solo Sikoa, maybe they would bring him in and Zilla Fatu would, I guess, go after Solo or try to stop Solo. Maybe Jacob is too busy doing other things, and they're like, well, let's bring in Zilla, and maybe he could be who feuds with Solo Sikoa, who's trying to come after the bloodline right now. I think that would be interesting.
Again, I believe when I see it. This is like the second or third time we've had this rumor of him coming in.
Yeah.
So I'll hold my breath and patiently wait. But at the same time, I wouldn't hate it. It'd be a new twist, a new fresh face. Hopefully they'll book him better than JC Mateo, Tala, and Tama, and Tala, and Solo. So hopefully they'll take this booking fucking seriously. But, Triple H gonna cuck. So
I am, bruh. Well, yeah, that was fun. Thanks everyone for the comments and for hanging out with us today, for all the likes and all that good shit. But we're gonna call it here for tonight. We'll be back this weekend for SmackDown review stuff. And Mr. Blood, if you can get us out of here, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Snug Wrestling. Again, thank you guys for joining us as always and tuning in, supporting the channel. If you love hanging out with us, you can do it every single Monday night after Raw goes off the air for live post-show reviews. Every Wednesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, and 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Pacific. What's your time zone? Pacific. You're Pacific. And 8 o'clock Central. Sorry about that. For our TikTok live one-on-ones on Thursday, and Wednesday nights we do the NXT review. And again, you can join us at the same times on Sundays for the SmackDown review. We no longer do them on Fridays. Of course, mark your calendars. Next Wednesday, we are doing predictions for Saturday night's main event, which will be happening that following weekend. Of course, guys, as always, thank you. You can stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug until next time when we catch you on Snug Wrestling.